Picture this. The year is 1622. A Portuguese governor sits in his grand chair in Luanda, a palace stolen from African soil. He has summoned an African woman to negotiate, and to make his dominance perfectly clear, he has provided no chair for her. She is expected to kneel. She is expected to bow. She is expected to remember her place. She does none of those things. Instead, Queen Nzinga commands one of her attendants to kneel on all fours, and she sits upon that attendant's back as if it were a throne, meeting the governor eye to eye as an equal. The room goes silent. The Portuguese governor has never seen anything like this. The Portuguese governor has never seen anything like this. He never will again. He never will again. Her name was Nzinga Mbande, and for the next 4 decades, she would make the mightiest colonial empire in the world tremble. But the Portuguese were not men of their word. By 1626, Portugal had betrayed Ndongo, and Nzinga was forced to flee with her people further west. Her brother Mbandi died. Some historians believe by suicide, others believe by Nzinga's hand in a desperate bid to take the throne and save her people. The Portuguese installed their own puppet king over Ndongo. They thought they had won. They had made a catastrophic miscalculation. Nzinga did not retreat into grief. She retreated into strategy. In the early 1630s, she allied herself with the Imbangala, a warrior group originating from what is now the Central Highlands of Angola, who often served as mercenary soldiers. She completed the rituals necessary to become one of their leaders. She did not ask them to follow her. She became one of them, learning their ways, earning their loyalty, forging a new and terrifying military force. Nzinga then conquered the kingdom of Matamba to the northeast, one of the few places in the region with a history of women ruling. She had found her stronghold. Now she would fight. For the next 30 years, she personally led troops into battle, waging guerrilla war against the Portuguese, sometimes retreating, sometimes adding to her territory. She did not fight like a queen sitting behind the lines. She was in the field, with her soldiers, leading charges, making decisions in the fire and smoke of war. She trained her army in the art of guerrilla warfare, conducting hit-and-run attacks on Portuguese settlements and supply lines, which severely disrupted their operations. The Portuguese, with all their guns and ships and soldiers, could not pin her down. They could not catch her. They could not kill her, and it drove them mad. She also provided sanctuary to runaway slaves and soldiers, which not only weakened Portuguese economic interests, but also strengthened her own forces. Every man who escaped the Portuguese slave camps became another fighter for Nzinga. She was turning the enemy's cruelty into her own strength. In 1641, she made a move of breathtaking geopolitical audacity. Nzinga entered into negotiations with the Dutch, forming one of the earliest alliances between an African kingdom and a European power against another European nation. In 1646, her army defeated the Portuguese at Davanga. The queen, who was supposed to kneel, was now dictating the terms of battle. Nzinga fought the Portuguese for over 4 decades. 4 decades of war, of exile, of betrayal, of loss. She was not a saint. History rarely grants saints the tools for survival. By the time of her death in 1663, Matamba had developed into a formidable commercial state that dealt with the Portuguese colony on an equal footing. Nzinga died on December 17, 1663. She was approximately 80 years old. She had spent nearly her entire adult life at war against the most powerful colonial force of her era, and she died in her bed, unconquered in her own kingdom. But the people remembered. Nzinga's memory is preserved in the traditions of Black Brazilians and Afro-Portuguese descendants worldwide. In 2013, the Angolan government erected a statue in her honor in Luanda. She is more than a queen. She is proof, documented, undeniable, historical proof that Black women have always led, always resisted, always refused to kneel when the world demanded it.